Hey, this is another great video by Aquarium Cichlids. We're looking at feeding the Frontosa fry for the first time. The benefits of feeding your Frontosa fry for the first time or ongoing for the first part of their lifespan is very important. The first part of the lifespan of a fish will determine how well it develops, how big it will get in the future, how colorful it will get. Even though you can take a malnourished fish and get it to grow to a normal size or almost to a normal size, it may not have the same reproductive abilities. It may not be as colorful. It may not be as attractive to its partners. There's just so many different things that can be affected by having a malnourished fish when it's a small fry or baby. So taking care of it from the beginning is very important. Now this food is artificial crab meat. It's high in protein. It's got some paprika in it for coloration. And it's going to jumpstart your Frontosas like you've never seen before. They'll grow faster. They'll be more colorful in the future when they become bigger in size. They'll be more reproductive. You'll see the benefits from this almost immediately. They can eat it for the first time, the first feeding you actually feed your Frontosa fry. And you'll see that in this video. This video actually shows the first time I feed my Frontosa fry. So stay tuned for this amazing video. You'll be glad that I showed you this because you'll want to jumpstart your Frontosa fry. Okay, I'm going to put in some artificial crab meat. Now the Frontosa fry are actually behind the left-hand rock. Most of them are. So they're going to have to smell the food. So it may take a little bit for them to notice it. We'll see. And the good thing about artificial crab meat, if they don't eat it, you can take it out pretty easy with a net. I really like that. There's a little bit of a glare. Let me fix the blinds while they're smelling it. Maybe I can chase some over to that side. So they're moved over a little bit. Let's see if I can get some of them to start on the crab meat. Now one thing you should always learn about your fish is that things you learn today you may want to change in the future. So many things have I changed in the last few months. I've been in the hobby for many years, but a week from now I may change things differently than I'm doing today. So if you're watching this video, make sure you watch my more recent videos and make sure that everything I'm doing here today is what I'm doing actually in the present. Because you know, I used to feed my Frontosa fry algae wafers, and it was a little bit of a mess. They liked it. It was good food, but it made a mess out of the aquarium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and see and let them gradually get over to the food, because the camera and me moving around, these are new fish and they haven't got it, you know, used to being fed yet. So let's see what happens. This is why I love to keep the shades open during the day. My cat loves to get up there throughout the day, and I like the natural light that comes in. So there is a little bit of light on my fry aquarium for my Frontosas, but it's well worth it. It keeps my cat happy. My cat's name's Tara. And it keeps me happy because natural sunlight's good for health. So some great information for you to have is that the baby Frontosas, if you put the artificial crab meat, can take several hours for them to smell and to start eating. This has been 2 hours and you see them, they're kind of skittish still, so they're not wanting to eat with me this close to the aquarium yet because they're fresh fish. So you know how certain fish can be timid and skittish until they get used to you. But you also can see them starting to eat on the crab meat. It's been a couple hours, so that means if you put in some crab meat for your Frontosa fry, they may not start eating it for several hours. So don't immediately take it out if they don't eat it right away. Now I believe they'll be nibbling on it ongoing for a while, and plus as more and more eat on it, the other Frontosas will get the hint to start eating on it. It's a great first food, very high in protein, it's fresh, something I really think will do great for all Frontosas. Now what I'm doing here, what I'm feeding them now, is different than what I did 2 years ago. 2 years ago I was feeding them algae wafers, I was feeding them mysis shrimp, I was feeding them shrimp. So stay tuned for my most recent videos to see what I feed my fish, what I do with my aquariums, so forth, because I'm an evolving hobbyist. I've been in the hobby for a very long time, but I still adapt and change, and I like to experiment. So that's the reason why you need to watch all my recent videos to see if I've changed how I've done things. Now this food's actually going to cause the Frontosas to grow faster because it's high in protein, and also good coloration because of the paprika and the crab meat. When you have a very good diet from the very first start, from when they're a fry, that improves things so dramatically. A lot of times when you buy wild caught fish, they limit the amount of feeding that they feed their fish so they can transport them. Also, a lot of times if you buy fish from the store, where they get them from, they're limiting their feeding until they ship them to the store, and they can be stunted that way and develop not as well. They may have less coloration, not grow as big or grow as fast. Sometimes you can overcome the stunning of a fish by giving a bigger aquarium and big amount of food for them, and they'll eventually bounce back. But as humans, if you're a kid and you're not given a good diet, your growth can be stunted. You can develop in a manner that was not the best results in the end for a human. And that's the same for fish. So starting them out with the best food possible when they're a fry can help their development overall. Now as far as culling, I don't think that this small of size gives you an accurate representation of what the fish is going to turn out to be. Because some places a little bit light could turn to be a little bit darker, and so forth. You may be able to see some exceptional deformities or things at this size, but normally I don't see anything that I want to cull at this size. So you want them to get a little bit bigger before you start the culling. Now if you see a fish that's swimming kind of erratically, then that's something you want to take care of right away. Now a good thing about Frontosa fry, and for a good amount of their growth lifespan until they get to a certain size, plants do really well with the Frontosas. Now once they've reached around the 3-inch or 4-inch mark, they can really tear into some plants and tear them up. These plants you see here was removed from a more mature adult Frontosa aquarium that they started to rip up. But for your fry raising aquarium, plants are just great. They go great with the Frontosas. They help with the oxygen, and they take out some of the impurities from the water. And also it just looks really cool. Now at this stage of the Frontosas, until they're about double in size, you're not really having to worry much about your water changes as much as other tanks. There's not going to be a lot of pollution in this tank or this aquarium, so I actually will wait several weeks before I do a water change on the Frontosa fry aquarium. I don't want to stress the Frontosa fry any more than normal. Now you see the 2 chunks of crab meat in there. They're not broke up. I left them in big chunks because they can take bites out of the crab meat, and if anything is left over you can take it out. Now, one thing I like about this aquarium, it has snails in here, so any excess food can be gobbled by the snails. They're great scavengers. Some people don't like them because of the way they look and so forth, but I think they do a great job of helping the aquarium stay healthy and beneficial to your Frontosas. If you look closely, they've actually broken one of the bigger pieces up. Now, just a second ago, there was like 7 or 8 on one piece of crab meat. Like I said, when they're smaller and they're fresh fish, they can be easily spooked. I guess now it's starting to get back into the action of eating the crab meat. Once they get a taste of it, it won't take as long for them to go for the crab meat in your aquarium. They'll be waiting for it and really loving the special attention that you're paying to them to get them healthy and looking good. They'll appreciate it by staying up at the top of the aquarium and waiting for you at times, or quickly going to the crab meat and devouring it as quick as they can. Now, they won't eat it in over a few minutes time. It could take several hours, but it's great food. It's not going to decompose. It's not going to make your water quality bad. That's what I love about the artificial crab meat. You don't see particles going into the water as they nibble big chunks off. They're just really eating it up, and it's not polluting the water. This is one of the best protein foods that you can get, and it doesn't have waste products in it like some of your other fish foods that you purchase. This is a great food for the first time of feeding your Frontosa fry. Appreciate you taking time to watch this video. It's been the first feeding of the Frontosa fry. And this has been with artificial crab meat. Thanks again for watching. If you like my Frontosa videos, please take time to leave a comment or give me a thumbs up, because that helps YouTube know to share my videos so I'll get more views so I can make more Frontosa videos for you. Thank you for your support. You all are doing really good with the comments and the thumbs up on my Frontosa videos. Keep it up so they'll be more and more popular, and I'll be able to do more and more videos for you. Thanks again for watching Ricky Kennerly Cichlids.